joined on to the team of Rohan Marley, doing creative work for them and in the cannabis world, doing the Miles Davis situation, which is going to be an amazing thing. We got paintings in the homes of people like Janelle Monáe and Tiger Woods and Dave Chappelle. Doing some stuff with Talib right now. Things are just like
finally getting back to me, my art. All I want to do is art, and the other thing is that I love stories. So like to me, art isn't everything. Your art is your voice, your speaking, your connection. You can feel everyone's energy. That's your art. It's the art of living to me. So art and hustle to me is the art of living and art of it and everything.
I hope that you cut that piece right there and make it your intro and your outro, because that was dope.
Welcome to the Art and Hustle podcast. It's a gallery of conversation. I'm so excited to have you here. And I want to let all of my viewers know, if you're watching this and you want to help our algorithm, to click subscribe and add in the comments what your favorite type of art is, your favorite musician, because all of that helps us get to more people. And so welcome, introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your art and your hustle and everything you've been doing.
My name is of Brooklyn, New York, art gang. I'm a creative. I paint, make music, design clothes, purple weirdo, pretty much do anything to keep me from needing a real job. Have an interesting background, so to speak.
Yes, tell us.
I've designed for some interesting companies: Calvin Klein, G Unit, Echo, Averex. I designed in the Jersey Nets uniforms. I did the Holy Fé outfit when he got his ear bit by Tyson.
Oh my God! So you started out doing fashion design?
I started out rocking when I was a kid. I used to rock a lot, right?
Yeah.
My parents, they would give that weird look like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with this? Oh, can I curse?
Yeah, totally.
You
can be totally yourself, curse whatever you need to do.
So they, I used to rock, and they would be like, yo, what's up with money?
Yeah.
So mother would try different things to get me out of that. They're the old school Caribbean, Haitian household, like, yo, what's going on? So one day she came home with watercolors. Uh-huh. And I just drew something, and she was like, hey.
That's it.
This will keep them entertained. So I ran with it. I just drew on everything, painted on everything that she would bring home. Somehow it kind of got the fashion. Or like around the time before I got to high school, I kind of locked in the fashion. Art wasn't my initial thing. Yeah. I thought I was gonna play sports. I thought baseball and like a kid's dream of being a professional football player was there, but internally I was like, yo, I think I can really do this.
Yeah.
The going through school, when I got to about 8th grade, you got to pick your schools, what kind of high schools you want to go to.
Yeah.
I showed my elder brother the schools that I wanted to go to, and he was like, yo, Duke, like, because we went to a Catholic school for 8 years. Yeah. So he was like, gonna fuck you up, man. Like, why like the schools I picked, he was like, yo, Duke, like, they really serious, because these are the schools I knew had football teams. And
yeah. And where did you grow up?
Oh, in Brooklyn.
In
Bushwick. Interesting thing is the school I went to didn't have a football team. Actually, Gene looked through the papers of schools that I picked, and he reminded me. I mean, he took a big brother approach and was like, yo, what happened to the art? I was like, I didn't think nothing of it. He's like, yo, let me fill out a couple of schools for you just to throw that in the mix, just in case, your thing. And I ended up not making any of the schools from the arts, like the football schools that I thought were. I either didn't go to the test or didn't make the school. And for the art schools, I only made one school. I only made. So when
which one?
That fashion high school, fashion industry, I got in that joint, and then my mentality shifted towards, like maybe design is a lane I could fall into. So I started designing like runway dresses and wedding dresses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My mother, so we had certain people that are already in the industry that was able to put me under their wing, so to speak, and teach me what it was to get to that point. That got me to FIT, where I only went to for, I was asked to leave that school.
Really? Oh no.
It's hard to get kicked out of art school, but there's ways. If you don't go to class,
yeah.
a nice little letter, you can't come here no more. Oh shit. So for a minute, all I did was, I wasn't doing nothing. I was literally like drinking a lot or just hanging out outside. From there, I really got into music. Actually, that was the other natural progression. So after I got kicked out of school, or after I was asked to leave, this even sounds better. After I was asked to leave, it was a bit of a struggle, but I knew like the music thing caught me, right? I was all the other stuff was left behind. I was more into this music. Started we actually made some good things in there. We were able to open up for Run DMC, Naughty by Nature, Michelle Andego, Cello. We got flown out to Amsterdam to do the High Times piece, and just living that particular thing, whole different perspective on your worldview when you get to see things.
Were you in a band, or you were part of one?
Yeah, I was in a band. First band I was in. I was with my brothers, Gene and Pat, and then Taryn joined in later on, and we had a band called Sounds of Silence, live hip hop band when live hip hop bands weren't popular yet. So it was something that it caught people's attention. Then we grew into Dark Theory and did some other solo projects, but it was just like if you can imagine whatever kind of music will go with this. That's how I put it.
Yeah.
Your all stuff is okay. But it was a great experience, great people, still have relationships with them, close friends. But it also built something in me of being able to take things out of the music industry and the fashion industry and translate it in the art industry, and able to create your own thing, right? So a lot of the things that are comfortable for me is creating from a space that doesn't exist.
Hello.
Yeah, all right. I have a unique little skill of blowing out electronics. I blow out computers. I've blown out, when I got my right knee replaced, the computer shut down. A lot of iPhones, a lot of my own computers. I blow out HDs a lot.
Your energy is just so vibrant, it just blows it out, right?
Really, like there was a time we had Sonya and me were in a rush to get to a location, and we had to rent a car. And the car wouldn't start. And it was important. Her dad had dealt with brain surgery, and we had to rush out there.
Yeah.
But the car wouldn't do nothing. So we're like, what's this problem? So my parents passed away when I was in my 20s, but I have an unusual spiritual lock with my mother.
Yeah.
Right. So before we walked off to make the call, because we're in the basement, we had to go outside, I stopped in front of the car and I said, hold on, wait a minute. Let's forget that. Let's not forget that we have a superhero on our team. Yeah. So I the car and I said, Ma, listen, like, this is really important. We gotta, we got to get out of here. We got to get this car going, and so on and so forth. Sonya and me take about 2-3 steps away from the car to start walking upstairs, and the car goes doot doot.
Oh my God.
Open the door, no problem. Turn the car on, no problem.
Started.
Got to where we had to get to, took care of what we had to do. And there's a lot of those. There's a lot, there's like my existence doesn't make sense.
That's amazing. I mean, I love hearing those stories because like same thing here when my mom passed away, things started becoming more clear where I felt like energy and things that would happen, they started becoming more apparent, So I totally believe that.
When did she pass away?
She passed away 2013. And so I've always said that her death is my rebirth. Mm-hmm. So like when she passed away, like I just kept having this voice tell me, you have to get back to your art. You got to get back to your art and you got to do some big art. Mm-hmm. Because I had gotten married, I had kids, and I felt like I was starting to lose part of my art, lose part of my voice. So when she passed away, I was like, I gotta get back to it.
You got that reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I didn't want to die unhappy. I felt like she died unhappy. So like maybe it was her telling me like, no, make sure you're happy, make sure you're doing stuff for you and live the best life that you can. So I've always felt her energy.
That's the amazing thing of like you're gonna go through your natural stages, right? Like in terms of death takes about 4 stages to for you to get to where you are, right? It's that feeling of the world is lost, nothing here.
Yeah.
But then you graduate to the feeling of anger because it feels better and you can control it.
Yeah.
Right. Get to your belief, then your belief grows into hope that things fall right, and then hope goes into knowing. Part of my knowing was when I reached my parents' level, where like there's things I feel, like the way I stopped drinking wasn't like, all right, hey, I have to. It was. I had 2 drinks at home, and there was this wave. It was like water, right? Like, and I didn't hear my mother, but I felt her within that. And it was, that's it. We're done. Mm-hmm. Put the cups down. I was like, what the fuck was that? I looked around the room for the first time. I really realized how much, like, there were just bottles all over the place.
Yeah.
And I was drinking, like, is that me? I was like, oh shit. For the first time, it really, really clicked. Like, I knew I had a problem. That was evident. But on that day, on my brother's birthday, I've been clean, no drugs, no drinking for 7 years.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
And it hasn't been, I think that coupled, I think the timing of everything was extremely important for me to hear that message as well. Because I was like, I knew I had a drinking problem. No one had to tell me. I had my first drink at 12. and it escalated to a point where, like at its worst, I was doing like a gallon of rum every day. I was a heavy drinker. But my confidence came from it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize that before, but my confidence was within that bottle, and the way my body doesn't work well. Like I could hit this table hard enough and it'll break my finger. Right. I've had 10 surgeries, so you have access to a lot of pills. And before there was everything, I didn't know that this was a problem, because you thinking it's from a doctor, you get this, you take them whatever.
Yeah.
But I was taking a lot of pills just to maintain, just to get through. Then that turned into a problem when I started crunching them up and smoking them, and it was just, all right, I knew it was something. Like, I am fucking up now. Like, like uh-oh. Right?
Uh-oh. Now there's like a bigger problem now. Yeah.
It was I knew something was there, but I couldn't, like, I always visioned a version of myself that's just like this dude's on God level, right? When you imagine your own personal movie, you're never second place, right? I'm never Robin in my own movie, right? So when I visualize my movie, this cat is not an alcoholic, right? This cat doesn't have drug issues. This has mastered his bipolar, right? This cat isn't a womanizer where this women, you know what I mean? Like this cat isn't the things that I was perceiving in myself to be broken, he didn't have.
Yeah.
Or he knew how to work with it. And actually figuring out how to work with it was the door opening for some form of maybe I could do it. Because it was my understanding of, like, initially I was like, I can't do that because my liquor's there, right? Like that guy had to not do that. But I always felt if I could stop drinking, like, wait a minute, like if I can stop that, like everything's available to me. Like when I say everything, everything's available to me. Like I've been blessed with amazing people around me, and I've unfortunately for myself, I did it. I've left people's confidence a little shaken because I would walk in a meeting at 11 a.m. drunk. Or you know I've been drinking, and not from last night, maybe from an hour ago, kind of thing. Like one of those functioning alcoholics. So the idea that that person was still there for me, because I always thought, all right, he may have bipolar like I'm bipolar, right? That person may have it, but he beat it. He's turned it into a strength. And I was like, how would you turn it into a strength? Right? Because I would hear things, you know, like that's never gonna ever go away. I'm always gonna hear shit. I'm always gonna see shit, and then you gotta break down, yo, that's not really happening. There's no way butterflies are coming out of her hair. But sometimes that's what I'm looking at, right? But so you have to do certain things. The thing I did for that to reach that point was like when the voices were telling me crazy shit, because the shit was just getting more intense. Point, I was like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna turn all of you into kids. And I took them into little kids, put a cute little face on them, and I broke all their left legs. Tell them to do more crazy shit, I'm gonna break the other leg. And I will continue to break until we're out of here. Like I answer this thing. Yet if you tell me to do good things and give me good ideas and open those other doors that are in this thing that's going on in here, then that leg will heal, right? I have to be the leader of this ship. This is a huge ship. There's too many kids with their grips on the fingers. I need y'all in the back where the kids belong. You can survive, you can live. We can all live in this happy house together, but I gotta lead and you gotta stay in your fucking lane. As soon as the agreement's been made and something clicked in here, like something, like Sonia works with kids and adults with mental issues. I told her that's how, and she was like, there's a thing, like I didn't go study for it. It was just something that the door opening that this guy, this version of me figured something out. I was like, wait, I could figure something. And that shit worked, right? I was able to really just go through a list of things that I wanted to be that would get me to that point, right? Something I could like document it so that the next kid, I could be like, listen, this is how you do it, right? What's your perfect version of you? What version of that version of you that scares you, right? And go towards the idea of you can't reach that, change that into he's got exactly the same things, or she's got exactly the same things you got. And they've made that thing super strength. My bipolar is my super strength.
Yeah, that's
right?
amazing that you were able to switch that and make it into a positive. That's what I want this podcast to be, like tips and tricks on how you got from struggle to success and how you were able to overcome that bipolar. That's amazing.
That's definitely one way. I'm in a unique position that I don't need to take medication, or maybe I do, but I don't take medication. Sonia and me worked out a particular system that has worked for me to where I don't have crazy things, right? Medicine is huge and slowing down my brain. Now, I'm not saying it for any particular, if anyone wants to try it out, test it. If it works, you do it. If it don't, throw it out. I'm just saying, I'm talking from my perspective of what has worked for me, right? It's been meditation. I have to make sure I shower. I have to be clean. Extremely important for me. I got to make sure I eat, make sure I've slept, and make sure I work out. If I do those 5 things consistently, it allows for that to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't do this anymore, right?
So you
it's like
stay into alignment to yourself.
Yeah. And I'm around people who understand what I deal with.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll catch, yo, did you eat today?
Yeah.
Like, I was having they were like, yo, you're talking real fast and you're moving and did you eat today? Like, no. Or did you sleep? Or like, I have a lot of amazing people that check me, and I am humble enough to shut the fuck up and listen when they say, all right, like Sonya's amazing, and she'll just take a look. That's it. Your days, you're tripping out. You're like, all right, cut it off. Like, no more work. That's it. Let's watch TV. It's over. So, like, she was extremely important in helping me recognize and get to that point. There was when we first linked up 12 years ago, I had a bad day, and I was in line to hurt myself that day, and it was a matter of at the time I was sleeping on different people's couches, didn't have, homeless, like just fucking up, and it was the 4th of July, so everyone's awake. Everyone's either at the beach or going somewhere, and it's like 11, 12 in the daytime, and it's feeling like it's 6, 7, getting darker.
Yeah.
Like, and this whole thing kept on repeating. Was, did you do everything in your life that you're supposed to do? Yeah. Like, it's just like I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? What's that? And it just started getting darker to where like I felt like, yo, like, like there's I don't have them now, but those moments before were like I wasn't gonna kill myself, but I didn't mind dying.
Mm-hmm.
Die quietly without anybody. That was something I was like, if I could go to sleep and not wake up, I was comfortable with that.
Yeah. That's when you were still drinking then.
Yeah, the drinking was, I mean, that on that day, my solution to that day starting out like that was go to liquor store. Mm-hmm. If whatever's gonna be. So I'm calling people up to see who might be available, who might be just close. And Sonya called me back and she's like, what's going on? I was like, I am not doing good. Yeah. So and she said the right words. She gave me vitamins and food, and I slept for 3 days straight. And I never left. We've been together for 12 years. We've had this many arguments. Like straight through, I could do anything on this planet with Sonya. Anything. That's
amazing. That's amazing. That's like amazing to have that support and someone by your side to help you along this journey.
Yeah, like she was a huge block, like a huge just stable.
Yeah.
Like, I am erratic. Yeah. My brain moves extremely fast. Like like even with the art side of things, like we started to calculate all the music, art, fashion, everything. And maybe years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we started, and we were at 8,000 back then, right? So I have 8,000 original things that have been worked on. So this is where my brain is. I'm supposed to make shit.
When you hooked up with her, were you doing your art and your fashion at the same time then, or your music?
Yeah, I was doing all 3 at the time. I never dropped one to pick the other one up. Yeah. it more like I look at it more like I look at these art things like I am the art piece, the art piece, and this is just the extension, right? Like these are just the tree bark, or you know what I mean? Like this is still, I feel like I am the art piece.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To evolve as much as I get to evolve. I don't see the difference between painting and designing clothes. It comes from the same place. And I don't have a sketchbook. I don't have an idea thing. I can literally sit here and just wait.
Yeah.
And we'll say, all right, here's what you're gonna do today.
Yeah.
And I am an extremely defiant, disobedient cat. The only thing that I'm obedient to is when the thing talks to me. When the gift talks to me and says, this is the hat you're gonna do today. Here's the jewelry you're gonna make, or and it's cool as shit.
Yeah, like when you surrender to it, where those ideas just pour out of you.
It that's a great word, surrender. I've surrendered to it, and like I understand that I live in my head.
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable there than this thing is cool, but in my head I could fly.
Yeah.
My head, I don't have a heart issue. In my head, in that other world, and that other subconscious thing, I get to control and move narrative and improve things. And I don't need them to be real in this world for them to be real.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Right. Now, what advice would you give to other artists who are trying to get their art out there to, you know, get rid of this myth of this starving artist?
Okay, there's a couple of things. All right. Either partner with someone with an understanding of business structure, or take loose classes on them online. Teach yourself. I taught myself this shit through YouTube and Google University, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yourself on the basics of business. It's not going to be a happy ending to your story to create a whole bunch of beautiful work and then get dicked for it. And now you're going to attribute that piece of artwork that you put your heart and soul into to an ugly thing because an ugly moment occurred. It's a matter of understanding what a lawyer really is. I know there's a fear of lawyers within an art industry. And what I say about them is lawyers are like guns. A gun in a good, honorable woman's hands is going to protect their child or their family from someone trying to break in their house. They're going to do the honorable thing, right? A gun in a criminal's hands, it's going to be a different story. So if you're a criminal kind of artist, cat, you're going to get what you get. But if you are an artist, and not to say artists are any different from anything else, there are scumbags everywhere. But if you're someone who really authentically wants to get into any line of creative business you want to get into, understand your business, understand your numbers. What's your value? What's your worth? I see too many cats undersell themselves, you know, to make a piece of artwork. Let's say you could get 1,000 for it, and I've seen a lot of cats say 100 just because they don't know that they can get 1,000, right? And understanding what the structure is. I know that there's a systematic notion that because art is unrestricted, there's still you still want to find your data points. You want to be able to calculate yourself. You don't want to wait for someone else to come in and do that for you. You want to build your foundation on strong legs, and your legs come from your foundation. Get your management in place. Make sure you get the small things in place. Do you have a website, right? Do you have your IG page up? If you're a one-man show, one trick you could definitely do is when people want to contact you, make sure you give them a side email address, even if they're talking to you. Become the manager, like the separation.
Yeah.
Separation instantly gets you to raise your price value just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a matter of don't just play like the manager. Your role then becomes find a goddamn manager, find a partner, find someone who's like, I'll bully through that while you do that. My Nairi, Zaire, Sanya are and Cleve Scott, my business partners. This isn't just like me and I have assistants, but I got partners. Like we don't just do the art aspect of it, right? There's a music, art, fashion, graphic element. There's a gallery downstairs. There's partnerships that we have. There's agreements in place. There's a whole bunch of structural things that have to be there before we get to the art. The art runs the show, but the business is in place, right? I think stressing the business element is extremely important. The other thing is ask yourself this question, and whatever it is that you're doing, would you do it for free? If the answer of whatever business that you want to get into, if the answer is no, you shouldn't be doing that business. You should do a business that you're willing to do for free. I'm going to paint for the rest of my life, but I charge a pretty penny. But I don't work for dollars. I don't work to pay bills. I refuse to do it like that. I've done it like that, didn't like it. Simple as that. The one is because your heart will give you a hug for it. The other part is it'll answer the question of, are you passionate about this? Are you willing to wake up early in the morning? Because there's going to be times when part of what it is that we do is wake up. Is it the kind of thing that puts you to bed at night and wake you up in the morning? If that thing feel like that, maybe question what you're doing. If you're doing it for business and not the art, then maybe the question needs to be reframed, right? Because there is a love of money, and there's no reason why you can't make money off your art. I'm not a believer in the starving artist, boo-hoo, fuck out of here. This is America, right? This is the place where people found a way to sell water, crack, and air. I could fucking sell a painting.
Yeah.
Right? I hope that answered the question.
I totally did. I totally appreciate that. Yeah, because it's hard. I mean, that's what the myth of parents always tell you, like, oh, don't go into art because it's a starving artist. And a lot of people are swayed from following their art because they're afraid to, get stuck in that starving artist mentality.
But part of it is artists, we don't defend ourselves well. Mm-hmm. We have a non-aggressive way of doing things. Like one of the things we're doing, like one of the reasons I'm not interested in galleries, right? My mentality is not to get in a gallery. My mentality is to buy the building that rents the gallery, right? Our mentality as a whole is to work on getting art back in the schools and getting it protected legislatively. Once that structure is there, then there'll be a lane for kids to get into school and be exposed to things that they can train through. Then the next phase of things, there has to be the next phase is then the parents, right? Where you re-educate parents who have these talented kids to get them to stop saying, that's nice, what are you gonna do for a living though? To start going, okay, retrain the parents to say, hey, that art can go towards fashion design or graphic design or shoe design, these other industries or creative industries that start at a nice, pretty penny. And what that starts to do is start to develop economic strengths there that aren't there any other way, right? So now you have an evolving mentality where you have artists going into a structure of understanding there's economics here and there's industries here that I can apply my gifts to that sort of bring. So then you start to have this mixture of creativity and wealth building. That's the concepts that we're building on. I got really lucky to have a Haitian mother who was extremely conservative on the religious side, to recognize that she would be the person who she would introduce me. This is my son. He's going to be an artist. Like my mother had a strong Haitian accent, so it was artiste, and I would ask her, "What's this artist thing?" Like I didn't like caught it, but I've also been around a lot of parents, and I mean, a lot of kids whose parents have been like my mother. My mother doesn't even know I'm drawing like this, or they've to hear from someone. I had a friend who told me her mother said, "You have an ugly voice," right? And she never sang again for like years. It just shut it down. And I think it takes away from what your gifts are. There's 8 billion people on this planet, but how many few of us are willing to open our gifts? Like the gifts, I'm opening up everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right. I'm doing much better these days, but I also understand that I do have a heart condition, right? I have weak lungs, right? I take a lot of things. You don't have 10 surgeries in your life for nothing, right? And no one's fault. I did most of the damage.
Okay.
But there is a silver lining I've taken out of that is when my doctor sat me down and said, "Hey, you're in trouble here. We got some things to work through." It forced me to change my ways in terms of my eating habits, my work. I just had to go back to certain things, but it also, it made everything bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Things weren't that important anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It became the only conversations I'm going to have are good conversations, and make that a choice. And if I don't need you to agree with me. Like I don't need the approval of not one human on this planet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I wait for just the experience of magic.
Yeah.
Every day in my life, wherever that moment is, it may not happen every moment, but I am so open to just seeing magic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm happy I came across your Instagram because there was the energy about your photo, which is why I reached out to you, because you had a photo in there and the colors and the energy of that. I was like, this is super interesting. I want to chat with you because I started Art and Hustle because I wanted to be able to give people a space where I did one of my first shows was actually in Bushwick, Brooklyn at Image Gallery. And I did that because I wanted to have a space for people where it was like no judgment, and anybody kind of art that you were showing. We did body painting, we had music, we had anybody who wanted to put art up on the wall. So it was like a beautiful energy of it. And I felt that same in your photo. So that's why I'm glad I was able to speak to you on that and get your advice, to give out to people.
Thank you. Yay.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Now you have a gallery downstairs that you
Gallery, it's at 572 Myrtle Avenue, cross street from Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of color theory things in there. So like we got 2 rooms. The first room is situated in a lot of earth tones, greens and browns that naturally calm you down. And the next room has a lot of pop colors, a lot of smiling faces. So subconsciously, when you see a smile, you smile back. So you actually end up leaving feeling better than you came in. And we're now that the COVID restrictions are being eased up, we're gonna reinstate. There was a test that we were doing that would calculate your stress level, and we could prove that your stress will calm down in the first room and get picked up in the second room. And we're calculating and quantifying that information to develop a report that we're going to use to get art back in school. So there's a science element to it. Also Zaire, extremely amazing augmented artist, applies his work he's my partner, but he applies what he does to what I do. And the 2 of us have merged and making these augmented art pieces. So now sometimes when you put your phone to some pieces, like say butterflies that come off of it on your phone kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So just really an immersive idea. We're working on the clothing line right now. So we got lucky enough to be asked by the Miles Davis estate to design and create an entire art collection. That'll be, the first drop should be coming out in July. Everything goes as planned. And then we want to do an art tour in certain cities take it overseas, take it to France, get it I mean, he was huge in Japan. We think that'll be a huge asset there. I want to definitely get it or somehow figure out a way to get business into Haiti, which is another infrastructure process we're working through, at least get some of my clothing made out of there. Really just put my mouth, put your money where your mouth is kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big, huge plans that we got. There's like our agenda is big. It's long. It's I have 100-year plan written out, and obviously I'm not gonna live 100 years, but it's the idea with the mentality that the next person behind me, I want you to lay out your next 100 years and let it be a thing where that's the succession plan. If you could think that far off, that shows that your brain is exercised, right? And there's one thing I have an advantage of not having a job is that I have to think, right? And I think it's extremely, extremely important to exercise that, like taking 20 minutes to an hour, shut everything down and just think whatever it is, just imagine whatever, like it doesn't have to be, it could be anything. It could be unrestricted, just see where your brain goes and see what's out there. But what it does is exercise that aspect of it. So now when you go back into the world that you say you need to put it to work, that side of you is exercised. Yeah. Like I've never in my life ever experienced a writer's block, ever. I've never, that's like, I think part of it is because I'm always the, there's involved today. Yeah.
Oh, I saw something on your Instagram that was interesting. You did a prank on DJ Envy. Tell us about that.
That was Donnell did that. Donnell Rollins. I do a lot of clothing for him, and he wore that he had on talking about it was a piece that I did for him. The prank thing isn't. I laugh at it, but I'm not a prankster.
Oh, okay. But I appreciate you coming on today and telling us your tips and tricks and how you get to your, your level where you are now. And that's super exciting. And I'm happy for what you're doing and trying to get art back into the schools, your gallery and everything you're working on. I appreciate you taking the time today to speak to us.
Thank you. Thank you for the action. Thank you for taking the time out. Hope you have an amazing what's today? Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday?
Tuesday, yeah.
Every day. Excuse me. Every day in my existence is Friday. So that's my favorite day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's Friday.
Yeah. And I mean, every day can be a fun Friday, right? Is there anything you would like people to know that you have coming up or that you're working on?
Check out the website. There's a lot of things happening. I've joined on to the team of Rohan Marley, doing creative work for them and in the cannabis world, doing the Miles Davis situation, which is going to be an amazing thing. We got paintings in the homes of people like Janelle Monáe and Tiger Woods and Dave Chappelle, doing some stuff with Talib right now. Things are just like as they happen, like the thing that worked out for me and just for me, right? It was like I already, I utilize a lot of visualizing and power of attraction. So I already imagine how I want things to be already there. But what I figured out was I let go of the rock, right? It's a matter of allowing yourself to let go of the rock and let the river take you where you gotta go. To relax on a leaf.
Yeah.
And be like that water will take exactly where you want to go.
So how did you get to a lot of these big names? Like, how did you get your art into all of these big names?
All right. Part of it was visualizing. There's certain people who I was like, I don't have a wish list. Like, no, I have an expectation list. I expect to get in certain situations, and then the orbiting things will happen around it.
Like law of attraction.
Like I am huge on law of attraction.
Law of attraction. There we go. That's why we're speaking today.
I've really, like, there's things that have happened that I can, and I have amazing people around me, but a lot of just magical opportunities will happen, and I'm a jumper. I'm someone who's like, no parachute, fine. You know what I mean? Like, what's the worst thing? And I am, you know, I'm full of life with this thing. Opportunities tend to show up, and we're doing a pretty good job of doing our job on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm so blessed to have the team, and I got snipers on my squad. You know what I mean? It's like, the way that they even look at it is like Voodo Fe isn't like I'm just the face of it, but it's just more like we're a band. Voodo Fe is the name of the band. Yeah. And right now, really strong acid jazz, kind of jazz band, but the objective is to become a orchestra, just dominate. I want this to be the greatest creative energy on the planet.
I love it. I love it. Beautiful. I appreciate so much. Happy Tuesday. And thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you for your time.
Yay! Thank you. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Went into like finally getting back to me, you know, my art. All I want to do is art. And the other thing is that I love stories. So like, to me, art isn't everything. Your art is your voice, your speaking, your connection. You know, you can feel everyone's energy. That's your art. It's the art of living to me. So art and hustle to me is the art of living, and art of it and everything.
I hope that you've cut that piece right there and make it your intro and your outro.
There we go. Perfect.
All right, let me see how to, I'm trying to turn you up so I can hear you better.
Okay.
I can hear you, but not very like loud.
Okay, so they increase your volume. Are you